Moving on, Sri Lanka and Japan have reached an agreement to resume bilateral projects, including a significant $1.5 billion Japanese-funded light railway. In parallel, Japan's Foreign Minister Kamikawa also embarked on a diplomatic mission to Nepal, emphasizing Tokyo's efforts to strengthen ties with neighboring countries. Given New Delhi's historical, cultural and economic ties with Nepal and Sri Lanka, as well as its strategic interest in the region, Japan's overtures could pave the way for collaborative opportunities among Japan, India, Sri Lanka and Nepal. A report. On May 4th, Sri Lanka and Japan agreed to resume stalled bilateral projects, including a $1.5 billion Japanese-funded light railway. The two nations announced the agreement during a visit to Sri Lanka by Japanese Foreign Minister Kamikawa. Sri Lanka is working to restructure its foreign debt as part of a $2.9 billion bailout from the International Monetary Fund after its worst financial crisis in more than 7 decades in 2022 triggered a foreign debt default.
I also conveyed Japan's intention to further support Sri Lanka's development by swiftly resuming existing yen loan projects. Once the MOU on debt restructuring is signed and the Sri Lanka's government's intention to swiftly conclude it, a bilateral agreement is confirmed.
Sri Lanka pulled out of the rail project in 2020 when it was moving closer to China under the then president. The Sri Lankan cabinet in July gave approval for President Ranil Wickremesinghe to decide on the appropriate time frame to reactivate projects with Japan. According to Finance Ministry data, Japan is Sri Lanka's biggest bilateral lender after China, with about $2.7 billion in outstanding loans.
Japan is leading the international discussions on Sri Lanka's debt restructuring. As co-chair of the official creditors committee, the restoration of stability and economic development of Sri Lanka, which is at the strategic location in the Indian Ocean, is essential for the stability and prosperity of the entire Indo-Pacific region.
Japanese Foreign Minister Kamikawa also met Nepal's top leadership in Kathmandu and discussed the whole gamut of bilateral relations to elevate economic and development cooperation as well as cultural and people-to-people ties. Kamikawa was also seen touring Kathmandu's sacred UNESCO sites and greeting people at Darbar Square. Kamikawa is the 4th Japanese foreign minister to visit Nepal since the two countries established diplomatic relations in 1956. Kamikawa's visit to Nepal and Sri Lanka highlights Japan's efforts to strengthen ties with neighboring countries, focusing on economic cooperation and cultural exchange. The high-profile visits can have implications for India as well. India shares close historical, cultural and economic ties with both Nepal and Sri Lanka and also maintains significant strategic interest in the region. Japan's efforts could potentially create opportunities for collaboration between Japan, India, Sri Lanka and Nepal. This could involve joint infrastructure projects, economic development initiatives and cultural exchanges that benefit all the 4 countries.